What's up? What's up? Boy, little update. Went out with a couple of friends of mine. We all think alike, and we're starting to get these gears turning. I got a buddy of mine, Wolf, who's into credit repair and the crypto as well. He knows some things there. Hopefully, we can learn from each other on many different things. And I got my buddy Wilby, who's working on his own app, and that's starting to come together, like what we see there. And then I'm gonna keep sharing these stock picks, and hopefully we could all make some money together. Pool our money, resources, and see what we come up with. Last week I did Resolve AI play. It's a littler company, but they had some catalysts come in, and it's small enough that any small moves could be big moves with the options. So I bought a couple. It dipped on me. I bought a couple more, and then it ripped. So made a couple bucks there. But I plan to show you guys a couple different plays from different YouTubers, so you could find someone that you trust and like. These are people that I trust and like. And let's set this up. Oh, this guy, I just started following him. Well, I seen him a long time ago, and he was on Earn Your Leisure, another podcast that will keep you well informed on the market. Let's see what he's talking about.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
Every single day, all right, for the rest of the year and next year. I'm dropping content every single day. All right, so let's get right into it. I don't want to waste you guys' time, all right? So the first stop is Lyft, okay? Lyft. Now, I've been in Lyft for a minute. Stock is Lyft, okay? Lyft. Now, I've been in Lyft for a minute, but like I said, I personally recommend buying Lyft, okay? And I'm going to explain why. For one, as you guys can see, every number are in thousands. This is Lyft's income statement on Yahoo Finance. You can see they have year over year revenue and year over year net profit, and they finally turn a profit. So at first, remember, we got to add 3 zeros every number we see. They were down 1 billion, 1.5 billion, negative 340 million to now positive 22 million to now positive on the TTM trailing 12 months, $92 million net, right? Net profit, $92 million net profit. Okay, so they are now profitable, and they will fill this gap. So trust me, folks, they will fill this gap. It's literally set in stone. Now remember, this is all my personal opinion and research. This isn't financial advice. Like I said, do your own research. But again, folks, I bought Lyft around this price, and I'll show you guys. I've been in Lyft for a minute, so I end up making about 140K off Lyft before I took about half profits, but I shouldn't even took that, to be honest. This is when I got in. You guys can see in my chat right here, if I scroll down right here, I got in January. I've been gotten in this, and this is one of the stocks that I did very, very well on as far as adding into it. You know, the second stock, I didn't do too well about that, but we will talk about that, the second stock. And the second stock is actually a good one as well, and we'll talk about that some more. But yes, Lyft, they both have similar patterns that you're going to see. They were losing less and less money to now profitable to now making a lot of money on their TTM trailing 12 months. And yes, Lyft, I've been talking about Lyft for a minute. As you guys can see, even on Twitter, you can go look at this. This is all line dated. So yes, I'm the OG of calling this. I even gave my rationale when they first turned profit right here. I said they're about to turn profit. They're still at $12 a share. And yes, now they're partnering with Tesla for robo-taxis. And honestly, all they had to do was copy Uber's business model, which I literally said. I said, look, this is a no-brainer. That's all they had to do was copy Uber's business model, right? Yep, see, look, all they had to do was continue to copy the business model of Uber. It's working out. They'll be profitable soon. That's all they had to do. It was literally set in stone. They already got the blueprint to getting their money up. All right, Uber did it. They literally went from unprofitable to profitable. Right, so Lyft is going to 30. The market All right, I need to add into shares myself because this gap fill is going to happen. And if it drops lower, buy more. Okay, so it doesn't matter if everybody like, what if it drops lower? Who cares? It's all about patience. We're in for the long game. You feel me? And then let me show you guys my particular position of Lyft. Okay, so Lyft, like I said, I already took profits on a few of these, and then I'm also in these shares. So I'm up about 60 racks in Lyft. It doesn't really matter where you get in. It's all ego. Don't think, oh, I'm not in the same one as you, Aristotle. It's all about getting yours. You feel me? I'm even going to add. And even though I'm up 49%, percentages are all ego. It doesn't matter, folks. So, don't think you can't add to your portfolio and everything. So, again, Lyft. And then I'm also in a few leap steals and runners. We can go here. I was up 140K at one point. Now I'm on 63K. So, I took off some stuff, but I'm still up pretty heavy in this. So, now let's go to the second. Have similar patterns. SoFi. Okay. Now, this particular stock has some great news, okay? And I'll show you guys real quick. But this stock right here is on its way. It's going to do what Robinhood did. I think it's going to be worth $100 one day. All right, so let me show you guys. Let's talk about it. SoFi is now adding options, okay? So SoFi just launched option trading, which, is a good thing for them, right? I don't think I'm going to use it personally, but they offered it. You get what I'm saying? So I see the future in them, SoFi. And again, I was in Lyft Leaps for a long time. You can go here and you can just go to my chat. If you ever want to see when or what I'm in, All right. Boom. Added SoFi shares and added, the Leap.
So basically, he's saying to buy into Lyft and SoFi. I mean, he's not actually saying that because we can't give financial advice, But Aristotle from the Honey Drip Network. You should definitely follow him. He's pretty transparent about everything. Shows his portfolio and everything else like that. I'm definitely thinking about hopping into a Lyft call. I did make money already this year with them. We'll see what happens this week, though. I would like to buy it in the cheaper $20 range. I think that's where it's at now. So might be a good time to buy a long dated. Yeah, I would want to wait for it to come down a little bit more, maybe 20. But Lyft is around 20, I believe. Yeah. So I'm going to look at the long dated call options on those. And if you don't know how to trade options, you have to set your account up for it. And once you do, you just go into options. You pick your strike price. You want to go out. I mean, the longer you give yourself, the better chances you have at winning it. So this is like $300 for a $20 call and lift, which honestly I might do. Yeah, it's the weekend and these prices aren't accurate. So I did win with that Resolve AI play. Was thinking about selling a cash secured put on it, but I might do this too. I don't know yet. Go back to my boy Chris Sane. See what he's got to say.
Back, man. Listen, I got APLD pulled up. If you have made money at any point in time with us along the way with APLD, please make some noise down in the comments below. Listen, guys, today this one was up pretty nice. I love to see this, man. And if you've been around and has been in this since we first got this till now, I want to say major salute. I already know you. What else Coach got for you? Coin. If Coinbase has done right by you, if you made money this week or at any point in time with Coinbase, please let me know down in the comments below, guys. Coinbase has, today was a record day, but I don't even care about today. All this week, Coinbase was cooking. I told you guys, I covered this in yesterday's video, and guys, it's up another $25 from what I talked about yesterday. And yesterday it was up big from the day before. Does that make sense? So listen, man, that's why I say there's a bull market somewhere, and what I'm trying to resemble HOOD. This is a money team play this week as well. This one is cooking. This one was up huge on today. It's up huge for the week. Shout out to everybody, man. Again, this is the beauty, what you guys are having a chance to experience. This is what investing is all about. This is what the power of buying assets is all about. When you guys can, CRCL is the ticker for Circle. Now, this went crazy today. This has been on my honorable mention list for the money team. Okay, this was a money team play, but it didn't make the money team this week. We chose Hood over this. But nevertheless, if you made money with this as well, I want to say major salute. Okay, guys, I want you to go out and find your place. Everything don't gotta be something I recommend. There are some things off of your own due diligence, off of other spaces you guys might be occupying in, that you will come across and hear a different place yourself. And that's okay. Long as you are cooking, just know I'm proud of you. Long as you are winning, just know I'm proud of you. But what I care about more than all that is no matter if you choose one of my plays or not, if you follow the principle, protect your capital, manage your risks, use your stop loss, don't overstay your welcome, don't get greedy. All of that stuff is what I care about no matter what play you go and do, okay? Because if you do that, then I know you're on to a good start. Now listen to this before I get you guys up out of here. I got a $50 play for you guys that I can't have you missing the big plays, okay? These plays are doing good, have done good, and continue to do good. But right here, BMNR, okay, Bit Mine Emerging Technology. This is our Ethereum ETF, okay? And I need you to understand they are on deck. They got next, okay? And so 60, this been coming down to 30 to 40. You need to be buying on pullbacks, dollar cost averaging here, and then understanding that it's making its way to 60. On 60, we looking to go attack 100. But I want you to focus on one target at a time. We got to recapture 60 first. You can't get to the finish line if you don't first clear this hurdle. You got to get above this hurdle so that you can boom run the rest of the race. You got to get above this hurdle so you can boom run the rest of the race. Okay, you can't just without getting over this, you can't get there. So again, we got a $60 target short term because again, I still feel like we want to go with the trend. Okay, you want to go with the trend. But the market is also showing signs that it's just due for a pullback. And when you've been in it enough, you just know the vibes. Okay, you get that feeling. You kind of know. So like what they did with Tesla today was a good example of how they can do the rest of the market, or at least the QQQ and the SPY, aka the S&P 500. Okay, so again, not that it's coming. You stay the course. The trend is up. So on pullbacks, you get in low, so you can just go up. It's called a melt up. Okay, it ain't gonna go crazy. But if you can get the SPY at 666 and take it to 670, boom, that's a good day. If you can get it at 667 and take it to 671, that's how you want to do it. Okay, don't try to short the market. Not yet, even though it feel like it's on shaky ground. Okay, so listen, man, job well done across the board. But I need to make sure, and I was talking on a coaching call today, Doris, if you happen to see this, I want to say major salute, shout out our coaching call, shout out everybody I talked to today, but I was asking her, like, man, how could I better prepare you guys? Like, what should the video titles be when I need to stress the importance of, like, using your stop loss, or that the market is going to come down?
So he covers a couple good ones. That APLD one, that's I believe they do some type of bit mining or Bitcoin mining, something like that. But in this whole field, they need power, and that's what this guy's talking about right here.
Here's how savvy investors are getting the government to send them tax checks.
He's talking about how these nuclear energy plays are coming up, and to be prepared. And there's one that's going to be merged into the market probably this last quarter of the year, and I want to try to get into that before it pops. It's a SPAC right now. Don't worry about the terminology. I mean, if you do decide to look at this, watch his video first. So it's this one. Last time I looked at it, it was at 13. Yep, it's already going up. Now it's at 17. And by the time they actually, it's a blank check company. Is formed for the purpose of entering into a merger. And they're going to merge with the next nuclear power company that's going to be available in America. So I say that looks like a play. Let's see if we go back to this guy.
Folks, you better get ready. We've got a lot to discuss. In today's video, we are going to talk about the top 2 stocks to buy early in October 2025. We're going to present the facts, the data, the evidence, and show you all of the receipts and let you be the judge. And as always, if you're the one taking the ultimate risk, you got to be the one doing the ultimate frisco as the your own due diligence on all ideas presented. If you're getting frisky, you got to think about your risky, and vice versa. Very important, and the greats have all agreed with this. Okay, let's start with number 2, which is Albemarle Corp ALB. So for context here, one of the biggest stories that you're going to see play out in the next quarters with this Trump administration is them taking stakes in big public domestic companies in key sectors. Now, we've called out several of these this year already, like your MP, your INTC, and the one that got confirmed this morning, ALAC. Whenever the government decides to give a partnership, give some regulatory benefits or some subsidies to a company, well, usually that company ends up doing a big rallyito. But the beauty here is that this game is just getting started. Quote, the Trump administration needs to strike multiple deals with U.S. miners to secure the nation's supply against China, said Mark Chalmers, CEO of Energy Fuels, a miner focused on uranium and rare earth minerals. The Pentagon decision to take an equity stake in MP Materials, the largest U.S. rare earth miner, in July and support the company with a price floor surprised many in the industry. But it was a necessary step that the White House should now follow with more deals to diversify the U.S. supply chain and reduce the risk that would come with backing a single national champion, the CEO said. So let's back up a second. Why exactly is the U.S. government so set on going into the free market, taking stakes in companies, and giving them massive favors? Well, here's why. Quote, rare earths are key inputs in weapons platforms such as F-35 warplanes, as well as consumer products like electric vehicles and smartphones. The U.S. is almost entirely dependent on China, which supplied 70% of rare earth imports in 2023, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. So in other words, the free market approach that the U.S. has taken to this field for many years has actually gone and left us dependent on China for many critical components and elements and minerals that we need for very important parts of our economy and, of course, national security. Perhaps if everybody played fair on the global stage, you wouldn't have to do this. But because other countries are going and putting their thumbs on the scales, namely China, well, that means that either the U.S. can do the same thing or the U.S. has to bend over and just buy. So You see a picture here, and you get a few boxes every spring, and you had to go and sell them and give the money back to the school. And whoever sold the most chocolates would get a day off school and get to go to Disneyland. So every day after class, I'd go and I'd knock on a bunch of doors in my neighborhood, and I would sell lots and lots of chocolate. And I was a fat kid, so a lot of people could see that I had passion for the product. They probably thought if we don't buy this from this kid, he's gonna eat all these bugs, he's gonna end up dying. So anyways, at the end of the fundraiser, you'd have everybody in the class go and they tally up the numbers, and the teacher would name the winner. And at the end of each fundraiser, I kid you not, there was always at least one kid whose parents decided, you know what, I'm just gonna buy 50 boxes for my kid and make sure that he wins. Combat vehicles, hypersonics, AI infrastructure, points, orbitality, and space superiority is one of. This is what I sent out to Discord members, quote, as the Trump administration. Okay, number one, CRCL, Circle Internet Group. So Circle is the biggest publicly traded issuer of stablecoins. If you're talking non-publicly traded, there's Tether, but of course this is the biggest publicly traded one, and it's number two if you're talking non-publicly traded. And it's been helped massively by new government policy, and I believe long-term Uncle Sam is going to drive the price up quite substantially. So listen to these headlines. Quote, stablecoin surge will preserve U.S. dollar dominance, says Donald Trump Jr. Stablecoins will save the U.S. dollar, says Eric Trump. Now, why do you have these Trump brothers coming out so hard for stablecoins? Sure, they do have a crypto company and a lot of incentive to say positive things about crypto-related assets, but this goes much, much farther than this. Their papa, President Trump, has put the weight of the U.S. government behind the cryptocurrency industry, and specifically stablecoins, which nobody's paying attention to. So let's back up for a second. Why would the US government like stablecoins? What the hell? Step one, money goes into stablecoins anywhere globally. Step two, stablecoin issuer receives fiat, US dollars. Step three, issuer must hold reserves to back each token, and reserves are placed almost entirely in short-term US treasuries. And step four, stablecoin maintains its $1 peg with the system, and the stablecoin issuer gets treasury yields as a compensation for this maneuver. But the TLDR here is that massive inflows into stablecoins means rising demand for US treasuries and a stronger USD. The fact that stablecoins are so connected to US treasury bills, specifically and directly connected, well, that means that any policy that supports more and more investment globally into stablecoins also, by extension, supports more and more money going into US treasury bills and a stronger US dollar. And this is happening at a time when many countries are actually trying to get away from the US dollar. So,
And it's funny because I was just reading the Genius Act, an article on it this morning, how Wyoming is the first state to start with their own stablecoin. So with the Genius Act and stablecoins, it's about to pop off. And that's not even getting into the energy portion of all of this. So there's plenty of opportunity out there. We just got to make it happen. Let's see if I
if
can
you want
find
to
that.
stop the trend of de-dollar,
Let me see if I can find that one that he talks about. The other one.
folks, you better get ready in today's video. Down below. Take a look at this chart from Bloomberg. It shows that new office space construction is about to be overtaken by new data center construction, and this is actually quite emblematic of the new economy we're heading into. A world where many of the jobs that were traditionally done in office spaces are going to be done by AI within data centers, which in many ways is freaky and dystopian, and society long term is going to have to adapt some form of UBI and completely rework the economy to make this sustainable for the populace, because of course if 80% of the population doesn't have jobs, well, who's going to buy all the products? So certainly maybe a decade or two from now, you're going to have some major form of UBI coming from the government. But once that happens, it's going to be too late to have your social mobility because everybody's going to be earning the same thing. So if you don't want to leave your future up to the whims of the government and the Sam Altmans of tomorrow, well, you better be preparing yourself and following these trends today, because right now we're still nowhere near too late. But if you're watching this video 5 to 10 to 15 years from now, that's going to be a different story. Take a look at this infographic. It says OpenAI is planning to 125x its energy capacity in 8 years. This would mean OpenAI is plotting to use more than the entire country of India's energy capacity today. India has 1.45 billion people in it, just to show you the scale of this, and this is just OpenAI. We aren't talking about the crazy scale you're going to be seeing at Meta, XAI, Alphabet, Oracle, AWS, so on and so forth. Now here's a more broad chart from McKinsey. Now this forecast that between 2025 and 2030, you're going to see the global demand for data center capacity go up 3.5x. That's just in the next 5 years, really the next 4 years, since 2025 is almost over. Now McKinsey also predicts that overall AI demand will require $5.2 trillion in investment. And what do they name as the places this AI investment will flow into? Number 1, building data centers. Number 2, powering and power infrastructure for data centers. Number 3, hardware/overall tech development for data centers. Number 4, operating data centers. And number 5, AI architects designing models. So in other words, 4 out of 5 AI investment areas that are going to see trillions of dollars in total investment is heading into data centers and or supply chain components that go into creating and running data centers. So now that you understand this trend, let's map out what stocks are likely to benefit from all of this. Companies that will benefit from the AI arms race. For starters, of course, you have the GPU and hardware leaders, your NVIDIA, your AMD, your Broadcom. You have your data center builders and operators. Digital Reality, Equinix, Core two specific plays today. Okay, we need to start with APLD. So if you go into the small data center plays that we've been highlighting, well, APLD is one of the earliest, and we were one of the loudest proponents of buying the dip on the stock back in April when it was trading at just $4.53. And the reason was very clear. At the same time that the stock was down massively, the company was reporting that they were seeing demand from mid to large size businesses, and large companies were looking for data centers that could handle the power requirements of the new AI/GPU demand. And that's what APLD had been able to do so, and they were able to service that demand, and we are seeing lease after lease after lease, which is the evidence that suggested to me that, hey, at $4.53, this is screaming buy. And APLD proceeded to run through all of our targets and expectations to nearly $26 at highs just shortly ago, and now she's been selling off in a little bit of a breathing cycle, and it's very natural for stocks to breathe. This is what we sent Discord members last week. Quote, APLD has been following an ascending channel for the past few months with a false bullish breakout in June. A new breakout attempt is forming, with the stock looking to bounce off the $21 price level. So we have two expected potential outcomes here. For starters, it could be number one, APLD continues to sell off and then bounces off that upper channel trend line. Or secondly, the stock got a little bit too overheated and we actually end up falling back to the moving average within the channel. Okay, next we got to talk about BMNR. This is Tom Lee's Ethereum treasury play and really the micro strategy of Ethereum. But BMNR's core business is as follows: Ethereum buying, Ethereum holding, Ethereum staking, and Ethereum mining. And the reason we got to talk about the stock is because it's going to continue to get more and more relevant as we head into the end of the year. If you look at the treasury holdings growth, I mean, in terms of speed of accumulation of its core treasury asset, it's wiped the floor with MicroStrategy. Charlie, put it simply, what is the case for the stock? Well, for starters, built-in yield on treasury. Instead of ETH just sitting there, BMNR can stake it and earn 3 to 6% annual rewards. That means their ETH position compounds over time, increasing both quantity of ETH and fiat value if ETH rallies. Then you've got regulatory momentum with the Genius Act. As stablecoin and ETH ecosystems get more regulated and safer, staked ETH looks more like a crypto bond type of product. If institutions want exposure, they'll look to companies like BMNR, who are already staking at scale. And there is some synergy here with their ETH accumulation strategy. You see, BMNR is aiming to build one of the largest ETH treasuries, and staking supercharges that strategy since it monetizes holdings while keeping them long term. That could be seen as a crypto version of a growth company also paying itself a dividend, which is a very, very nice sign. Okay, so what about the chart? Well, this is what we sent out to the Discord. Quote, BMNR is experiencing quiet but true momentum brewing with several bounces after original consolidation from Tom Lee Catalyst, aka he got added to the board, which caused the earlier spike to 161, which we covered at the time. The upside of the setup to resistance at $72 and the potential to bounce and build on top of $72 appears to heavily outweigh the downside risk to multi-month support at $30. In other words, the risk versus reward here is very beautiful, and the chart suggests a new breakout is soon. Again, in the bearish case, there's not that much downside compared to upside, so something to consider here. Okay, let's talk about HIM. So we've been a long-term preacher of HIM since the fall and at way lower prices, but let's be real, it's stagnated for a while, and there are a few catalysts to keep in mind that I believe could shoot it higher. For starters, international expansion. HIM is scaling overseas with its Zava acquisition in Europe and a 2026 launch into Canada. A lot more users could be coming soon. This opens massive new markets for digital health subscriptions. More users equals, of course, more revenue. And then you've got their weight loss and GLP-1 evolution. They've been transitioning from compounded GLP-1s to FDA-approved generics and branded partnerships, which has helped them a lot with one of their core segments. Expanding semaglutide offerings could supercharge subscriptions and very much so increase ARPU. There's also new therapeutic verticals here. HIM has been rolling out oral testosterone, menopause therapies, longevity care, and sleep health. Diversifying beyond hair loss and ED means higher margins and less direct competition. In my opinion, you got to watch overall HIM's user base and if they're continuing to get more and more products and continue to have recurring revenue from them, because again, that's really the driver of this company. I also think that rate cuts plus capital markets easing could benefit this stock quite a lot. So in terms of the chart, this is what we said. Beautiful upside. Okay, now it's time for the main entree. So just for context here, back in May, it came out that NVIDIA picked NVTS and their specific chips to help them power their data centers. And the stock went up huge at that time, of course, but it's basically been stagnating within range since then. Back in July, which I believe was the last time we spoke about this stock, I spoke about how the whole value add for NVIDIA and what's actually in this deal for NVIDIA is that one of NVIDIA's chips actually help supply and satisfy many of the constraints that NVIDIA and NVIDIA-driven data centers and their clients have, specifically in regards to switch time, size, energy, power density, charging, and overall system cost. I explained this new type of chip, while it's not going to be their primary chip, is actually something that could be a very powerful proponent and component of a lot of data centers and really, really benefit NVIDIA and could be potentially a takeover candidate down the road. And since then, the stock has been in a wait-and-see pattern going back and forth. So what's the deal? Is it a buy now at $6.43? Well, in my opinion, there's one big major reason why NVTS is a buy, and it's this very chart here showing the cost of electricity skyrocketing. As we've been talking about, this demand for AI is going to cause unprecedented demand for power. Power is getting more and more expensive. And as the need for electricity continues to explode, any chip maker that can help achieve greater power efficiency is going to be extremely popular. And with NVTS being the leader in offering these two specific types of chips, well, it's no wonder that NVIDIA partnered with them. And I continue to believe that the story is nowhere near over. I think it's just getting started. They've also got the first mover advantage in GAN chips specifically. As one of the earliest pure plays in the space, they've got a lot of advantages over other competitors. competitors, and they've got very beautiful, strong revenue growth trajectory. Revenue has been growing double digits year over year, with management guiding for continued acceleration as AI/data center orders ramp up, and gross margins are expanding as well. But bigger picture here, you want to follow the technology because, again, the technology is what's going to drive money down the road for the company, and also the technology is what's going to make them a potential buyout candidate. If you look at the demand for their specific types of chips, it's expected to explode through 2030. So bigger picture here is follow the chips and follow how effective they are and how popular they are. Now, if you look at the technical setup on the chart, this is what I sent out to Discord members today. Quote, stagnated NVIDIA partner NVTS is showing a built bullish flag that continues to consolidate, which can set it up for a squeeze and break out in coming trading days. And in the bear gauge, we see continued stagnation, as it is unlikely that NVTS can fall far below post NVIDIA announcement lows, which have been effectively acting as support at $5 region areas. So put this another way, do we see NVTS dipping below this lower level of support reached post NVIDIA news? No. And at the same time, do we see a lot of potential for a breakout? Yes. Does the potential for a breakout outweigh the downside risk to the support level?
Well, the two hymns I'm not a big fan of, not for nothing. I mean, if you see a play there, by all means. MBTS, I'm not really, I can only focus on so many at a time. So I'm focused on that Han merger, which I still haven't shown you guys yet. And it might be this one.
On August 22nd, I told viewers.
So I'm probably going to go for a lyft play. And with whatever profits I have left from that resolve, I'm going to try to get a Han long-term play, maybe like February or something like that. January for lyft, February for the Han. I want to give that some time to play out just in case. It's not, not trying to lose money here, trying to make as much as possible. So those are my two plays I'm looking at this week. And yeah, these are guys I heavily recommend you follow. Keenan Grace, Matt Giuano. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, bro. This guy is good. Money Vest. He goes over the whole market. He's got some plays here and there. Well, he's good for overall market. And then this guy, Everything Money. I follow him as well. He gives you what the stock is actually worth. So when you're doing these long-term plays, like that Han play, he would not recommend it because he wants the evidence there. I'm looking for hype and momentum. I'm trading. He's more of a long-term investor type, which I like to know these things because he goes over things like, or companies like Lyft. So if I do get into a long-term play, I feel confident with this company. If I get stuck holding the bag here, I know I could make it back with Lyft eventually. With a company like Han, I don't really know what's going to happen. It's more of like a hype, try to catch that wave real quick type play, which is what I'm doing with it. Anyways, that's my my little video for today. Don't forget to check out Wilby's website, itemfits.com. Check it out. Let us know what you think. Let him know what you think. Log in, get started, have at it.